And he has been doing amazing work into the clash lane, maintaining his ground. Nobody can reach through my turret now unless I would really give it up. Everything here has been the exchange for BSE. They know how to trade, they know how to deal well with mistakes, and so far it has been amazing. Now they're on Prio pick, banning out the Yuan, banning out the Diadea, and we're seeing this adjustment once more. BSE is so flexible and they want to shake things up once more. Oh, they got the Zhongfei this time around against DMT.
Pick it up. I mean, it's one of the best heroes. It hasn't done too well, unfortunately, for Dominator, but this is a great moment for them. I think you first pick it. It's an easy one. I think the bans are funny because BSE, Yuan, is actually one of their best heroes, and then at the other end, Dominator Esports banning out the Dolia, that is one of their best heroes, so it's like, hey, we'll handicap ourselves, so to speak, going into that.
They're kind of respecting that, right?
Yeah.
You know how Yuan works into the battlefield? Having multiple enemies hit, you have heal, you have damage, do like the peace and war mode situation. It's amazing work for the Yuan. I think they kind of respect the fact that DMT could take that away, mainly because of the R lead that also has been stolen by DMT.
Yeah.
Pairing up with the Dharma, so this is like a case for an exchange too for DMT. How's it going?
I mean, it kind of plays into DMT's draft here, right? There was like, hey, maybe if they go blue side again, they'll pick up the Zhongfei. And this is the time that we pick up the Dharma, right? Because we've seen Shipang's on the Dharma, and he can hit those truth mantras to a T. And then they go and pick up the Arlie as well. So Toshi gets JR's Arlie, and they're going to lock in the Lianpo, right? So they thought, hey, we aren't going to get the Zhongfei. Let's give it our turn for the Lianpo. It worked for BSE in game 1. And this time around, we might see it in game 3 actually come into fruition for DMT.
Yeah, let Chipang's work, right? Let them work on that Dharma. They're 2-0 right now in the playoffs, so Dominator Esports really understanding how they do this. But plus, he tends to be one of those, like, you know, snakes in the grass, just trying to find the right angles, getting that right ambush. If he's able to find JR, and they need to put pressure on him so that he has a bad game, because they didn't really do that in game 2.
Yeah, I think that's the main mission here for DMT. How do you reach JR? Because, yeah, he has been given kills out of the game number 2, but how they translate everything into a great recovery and comeback, that's the second thing that they need to look up to once more. So DMT banning off the monkey for BSE because there's no hero yet for Musang King to be used here. So what could be the good scenario here? Will they go for the advantage of reach, or will they go for the Agudo for BSE's last 2 picks?
I mean, they technically could. They're going to go with the Xiang special of the Mayin. He's an absolute monster on that hero. But, you know, Dominator picking the Musashi, trying to bait out the Ogren pick from BSE. That's still up there. Potentially do it. And they don't care. They're like, hey, we can go for this one. This is the 3rd game. We have the king.
This is not your first rodeo, is it, Hauler? Called that one very quickly, right? You got patched into that stage there?
Yeah.
But no, I think it was a good point to call out, right? I mean, they've got the Lianpo, they've got the Musashi, that kind of then plays into the Ogren. But many teams probably wouldn't pick up the Ogren. Maybe that was them kind of saying, hey, we've got your counter, are you still going to pick up the Ogren, right? But hey, Musang King's like, hey, there is only one king, and that is him. But they do finish off their team comp with the Angela for that anti-tank mage.
I think it's still a smart move for DM to secure that hero because it's like the Zhongfei's ultimate counter in terms of frontline peel, but it might work differently in the hands of BSE. They know how to play with frontline crowd control. It's the reaction time from these 2 teams. Again, we've seen high IQ plays here in game number 2. Let's see how this goes. This is the adjustment that Dominator is addressing because we're looking at the draft once more in game number 3. Will this be the last game of BSE to push through to advance into the grand finals, or DMT would have a better adjustment in this one?
All right, it's not the worst thing in the world. If you lose, you still have a chance. You go to the lower bracket finals, and you'll be playing later tonight. So again, don't go too far, especially if you're a fan of either of these teams on that losing side. You still have that great opportunity to see more of Honor Kings Esports. But again, this is a situation where if we're going into the drafts alone, I think that they're both very balanced. This is going to be an interesting one, especially in the first 5 minutes here.
Okay,
Okay.
I mean, it is very balanced, right? I mean, we see that they have... it's all for Musang King here with the Path of Passing, right? He's able to get wherever he needs to, and very quickly. But you can kind of see them actually patch into the enemy jungle. It's not as aggressive as game 2, right? So they're going for a little bit more of a cordial, a bit more gentle approach for game 3.
Yeah, I think the approach for this, right, for BSE, I'm just looking at how the rotation went. We see a 3-man earlier rotation from BSE here to mainly eye on the Arlie, but hold that. Zoning happening here from DMT.
A lot of damage onto Jess, so he is going to be the first blood for Toshi once more. Able to pick it up for DMT. I think that's back-to-back every game. Is that first blood going over to Toshi?
Oh, that's right. it was the same thing, game 1 and 2. And they were just willing to go around because, again, if you're an early, you want the great start. As Toshi, given the chance to take that kill right off, he needs to keep pushing forward to maintain that pace for the early.
Yeah, what a great fight. I mean, great ambush. I mean,
Oh, what a wipeout!
All right,
Wipeout.
Xiang is so good on the Mayan. You got to be super careful, especially in the top lane. Xipeng did not expect that, but man, there's fighting everywhere.
Yeah.
There is fighting everywhere. Xiang will be the next one. I mean, the Leaping Saber just come over the wall, but a little bit too late for Jie to save his teammate Xiang in the mid lane. The Blazing Brilliance does connect. They're not giving it up. They are being scrappy. JR gets hit with a Magna Slam, but it is not going to be able to connect with anything else.
I think it's a good sacrificial way overall because I think, no, they actually know that Zeo could be the one to fall down, mainly with power. Oh, they're going once more.
I mean, hey, he didn't get caught out in the first rodeo. Second time around, he was able to get the switcheroo and claim up the kill onto JR, right? I mean, that's a great priority for not only Toshi, but that farm lane as well.
Yeah, Dominator Esports turning it up another level. We're going to not only get first blood, but we're going to get more kills. We're going to get the pickoffs. This is a great start for Dominator Esports. It almost looks like BSE had picked pay for Musan King.
Okay, Holler. Good thing that BS like, okay, we're not gonna stick with that. It's like, let's go back to the comfort thing. Like Musan King, everybody knows how this hero is just an identity, a signature for this player alone. So in terms of reach, the high crowd control now from BSE is like a danger zone for this two compositions DMT has. It looks like the peel is really working a great way scenario for JR, but it's like putting pressure on L as well.
Oh, Freddy going in, but no.
Yeah, I mean, the CC immunity was really good from that one, right? I mean, like he said in the draft right there, Hauler, you have to give respect over to Xiang on the Mai Yi. And they just showed there with that 2v1. Not many players can say, hey, I survived 2v1 on the Mai Yi.
Oh, yeah, and we've seen great plays too. So with this kind of backline reach, L needs to be in a great position for Toshi to be in a tight or a very safe situation because, again, follow-up comes through for BSE. There's so much reach just to start with the passing and also the outburst. So there's a lot of crowd control happening. If you're an early, you better step away from those moments you get caught.
Gotta go for this one. Xiang, mind you, has a 1K now his lead, but it doesn't really matter.
Wow.
He's still able to get out of there. Wow. He's on the run, baby. He's not scared, and he is not embarrassed to try and take these 2v1s by himself up into the clash lane. I mean, it's good, right? It kind of keeps the attention away from the other lanes of BSE, which they are struggling in right now. And Xiang's like, bro, don't worry about it. I can take the 2v1. Just bring them to me. But speaking of bringing them to me, it is the Unbridled Outburst. It is going to be the Magma Slam and the Tremor Smash into the backline. Seedbans picks off the Princess Frost, but it is going to be a 2-2 trade here between BSE and DMT.
That was super risky right there. I mean, they got picked up on the JR. They ended up finding him, so that's a great win for them. But Dominator right now on that fight, they let it go because Freddy didn't have Smite. It was still on cooldown, and unfortunately, Musan King with the faster fingers ends up getting it.
Oh, but still, so a win, growing with the lead for DMT. That was 3 kills already for JR and the Lady Sun, delaying so much of the damage items going back. Now, into the replay, this was the initiation of BSE.
I mean, it was a nice little fight just starting it out. L just pushing them back with that first ramp, knocking them up, but not enough for Musan King to get that steal. BSE, though, they lose. They trade 2 for 2, but then Jay got caught out here. Toshi starting to do some serious work. I mean, they found JR, and that's the one you needed.
I mean, ultimately, the trade definitely went into the favor of DMT, even though BSE got the neutral objective in terms of taking off those right kind of heroes, like the Ogryn, like your mid lane, and like JR. It's able to just kind of mitigate anything for yourself, give yourself DMT room to breathe. Already, Musan King just kind of put a bit of pressure on here, use the Path of Passing to slow down L for now, but it is going to be a bit of an engage. A duel of death comes through. Freddy takes down the King once more, but Winter is coming, is going to be deterring DMT from this team fight.
Freddy did such a good job of being very mobile and agile. He dodges the Conductor of Souls, knows that Musan King was going to use it, then he got caught out, and he didn't really have the heal and sustain to kind of keep himself alive. Musan King got out of position. How many times have I said that?
Yeah, I think that's the one way to put it, right? I think Musan King here being on tight spots, DMT knows who to target in those scenarios, but one thing also to note, in BSE side in the clash lane, Xiang and Xipeng's not joining the fight just yet, but not letting go of this lane. It is a very vital point because, again, BSE, the tower defense or T1 in the down lane, it's just slowly bringing out some cracks here on the base.
Yeah, quick one, Caller. Is that a rhetorical question, or do you have the stats on that?
No, I don't think I actually have ever said that, ever. I know for a fact that I have not, especially with the King.
Well, Let's see how this translates, man. I guess with all of this happening, DMT has built up really a great economy here. With L and Jurl maintaining the front line, it's just been hard for Zed to maintain that position and just soak up too much damage with the counterplay for the burst. Yeah, eyeing on the assignment, good thing JR here has a way to take out a defense in DMT.
This is what I mean. JR does this beautifully, right? He does the macro plays very, very well. He's able to do those multiple functions on the Gorge, and we've seen it time and time again, and it works very well. The Tremor Smash coming in, but it is going to be met by the Winders coming. The Unbridled Burst does come through as well. Jill gets the first kill into the team fight right now. Picking up Moose and King. JRZ down as well. DMT coming in with almost a perfect wipe and the T1 in the mid lane.
DMT has completely waken up. Having 2 losses into the series, a better adjustment overall, but they have completely layered out damage out of BSE, and they have no way they could really hold up for this T2. A very great open. Let's head back to this replay.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, it goes in. Freddy with it starts it off. That Tremor Smash, the combination, the wombo combo. That was perfect to set themselves up. Musan King not able to path the passing out to safety, and they cleaned house. Dominated Esports with another huge team fight.
Yeah, really huge. An amazing comeback too in this series. Now they have taken the Overlord, again, not enhanced just yet, and they need to keep on doing, really pushing everything forward for BSE.
Ooh, they're able to get that Azure Golem as well, right? That was pretty close before BSE. That kind of knocked Moose and King off his horse there.
Oh, yeah, I think now resources slowly being eyed by DMT. Looking back to the bottom lane.
Gotta
Oh,
be careful.
no.
Oh, he does get taken down by JR.
Okay, kind of overstayed the position there, and it was a great read from BSE right away.
Yeah, I thought Seong was actually going to solo him, but then JR came out and they're like, okay, clean up on aisle 2. They'll take that one. And it was just kind of unfortunate for Toshi. It's one of those things where now is the time to be sticking together, kind of pushing them back. You're giving a little bit of too much space for BSC. I mean, you have a 5K net worth lead, fine, but BSC still finding ways to get back in this game.
Still finding ways to get back into this game. We do see the Freddy is trying to keep this neutral objective, maybe very neutral into a team fight, but that was a nice Unbridled Outburst, keeping the side of DMT from them. Again, not reactionary, very strategic, and this is the kind of thing that separates BSE from DMT for now.
I mean, BSE was up a member, right? Toshi had just been killed, so they were trying to fight this 5 versus 4, and BSE were like, I'll happily take that one. And unfortunately for DMT, not able to get anything out of that one. That was kind of risky by dominating Esports.
They're kind of seeing themselves once more from the lineup of BSE. DMT had the Zhangfei for a straight 2 games, and now we're seeing the struggle too. That could be the frontline problem here for BSE. The amazing Angela pick into the last stage of the draft has been an amazing counter for the Zhangfei alone. And this is like the struggle. How is the defense working out just yet?
I mean, this gives respect to the Angela bans we saw yesterday, right? I mean, that was a very heavily banned hero yesterday. I believe it was like 100% appearance rate in that ban phase. So again, just showing respect to Angela as a hero. The Blazing Brilliance, the Chaos Cinders coming through as well, putting a lot of pressure, but it is going to be Freddy taking a lot of that, but it is going to be the Blood Rage that saves him thanks to that shield. But right now, it's looking like DMT are a bit better than Bruise. Same with Shipangs, but it is going to be the Unbridled Outburst. Moose and King just gets away with the inch of his life. Are they going to be able to take this T2 and take down the Zhangfei? Oh, they force him away. DMT claiming up some more of those turrets.
Oh my goodness, you were asking like how will the defense go for BSE? So far, no casualty just yet, but we see Xiang. Oh no.
Oh, he was able to clean up shop, but it is going to be Toshi getting the kill though, so it does give some great resources over to Toshi, and again, just furthering the divide, that fissure between the gold lead.
Yeah, that was actually a fight that BSE were looking to take 4 versus 5. Yes, Musan Cake did survive in the end, just very, very close to dying, but Xiang was split pushing in the bottom lane. I felt like he probably should have just continued to push, but they did not know that Dominator Esports was going to run.
They didn't know, and they didn't know that this encounter was going to be a disengage encounter on the side of DMT. They take down Musan King, they take down Jet, as well as picking up a consolation prize of the Crimson Golem and the T2, sorry, into the farm lane. They have 2 great minion waves as well, right? This could be where they faltered in game 2, right? They could take these high ground turrets.
Yeah, with the lead right now, this is DMT's complete game aggression into BSE space. High ground turret mid taken out too. Now being left with 2 turrets, I don't know how BSE can defend this lead.
Yeah, DMT are in a bit of a timer here. They have 2 seconds, until Moose King is back. Is he going to be able to defend the throne? It's going to be DMT taking it to game 4.
That was a great game by Dominator Esports all the way from the beginning, just completely controlling that one out, but winning all of the big team fights. They were consistently fighting, and they were coming out spades.
Crazy! They get one king from BSE, man. That is absolutely nuts.
Oh man, this is like home court buff right here onto the Lipo Mall command. We see the fans of DMT rejoicing, denying that sweep from Black SHREW Esports, and we see the crack of the Zhangfei being present in team fights. So far, DMT onto the page of this game really works so well.
I mean, it's crazy how game 1 and 2 went, where BSE were able to come back, but the fact that Dominator Esports, I mean, if they were to kind of just close out those games, they would have swept them. I mean, they've been in full control in every single early game. They've been very dominant in that sense. They've been a very different team, and they're really taking the fight to BSE.
It happened once more. Like BSE almost close for a sweep. Happened to Fearless Esports, but this time around in the adjustment, DMT, this reset, this motivational push in this game number 3 really can take them forward.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Blum, right? I was right. They're just on the timer. They need to make sure they just close out the higher ground turrets. They're edging closer and closer to being a perfect team, right? So game 1, they struggled to close it out. They didn't even get into the high ground turrets. Game 2, they got there. Game 3, they were able to close out the team and get the high ground turrets, so they just edging to the execution of these games.
It was so hard, man. JR's on the bad start. And now let's go back how that game went. DMT forced a game number 4.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuhan, and I'm the official 2024 HOK Championship Observer. The tournament highlight of the day is here. 3, 2, 1, showtime!
I mean, this one started like very strong for Dominator Esports. Again, just getting the pick off, finding them. Jay, he had no way to get away from that one. He got caught out. So they had some great ambushes going on from all end. And Freddy on this Musashi made Musang King's life miserable. Every time he went in, Freddy ensured that he was able to find Musang King and to get it picked off. It almost seemed personal at times.
Okay, now it's becoming more an effective scenario where the last pick, Angela, is slowly growing in the numbers into the drafts here because this really depleted the batteries out of the defense of BSE. Sian can only do so much, but in terms of like counterattacks, it was just so hard for Ze to have a great space for JR, and that first 3 kills right onto him, it was so hard to go in for a comeback.
Yeah, it was difficult. I mean, like, I think that this is more according towards the draft because the way Dominator Esports were comboing their stuns and their ultimates together, it was really next level. Very good coordination, forcing it out, letting Freddy do what Freddy does, and that's just blowing people up, killing Musang King, and you gotta stop him from getting anything going.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, I mean, we saw it in the draft. We saw that Musashi and Liempo were drafted first, and then BSE was like, "I bet. Let's see if you can actually counter us with these very known counters." And it's kind of just played into DMT's favor, and they played it superbly, like you were saying. Freddy on the Musashi, locking down the Musang King, and then even L actually delivered very good on the Liempo, right?
Yeah, this is the crowd control power coming in from C-Bangs, Freddy, and even L. It works so well for a greater space for Arlie to play with, and with the damage, you see the scream right onto that game finished by Dominator Esports. The needed win onto fueling up for this series really is a much needed scenario. And this kind of game that we see from DNT, wow, man, it has been an amazing adjustment.
Yeah, confidence, right? Getting you.
Of just deny the Orgrin. I mean, we didn't even see the Eye of the Phoenix get built, right? So that HP regen, that full optimal opportunity that you can get from the Orgrin wasn't actually passing in this one.
Yeah, it really was not working for a path for a winning victory this time around. I know this is like a signature pick for Musang King, but to add all the layer here, the crowd control from 1, 2, and 3, and the Angela in perfect spots that Drill has been in, from the Gun and Mo to the Angela, an amazing build. It was just hard for the Princess Frost to move around by using that Winter is here, and the damage, not even getting to the Venomous Staff early on, it was full-on magic damage here. That was so hard to deplete the magic lifesteal against DMT's defense.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at BSE, almost all of them are kind of on their comfort heroes. There's nothing that really like sticks out to me. It's just that Dominator Esports had the counter draft. They were able to execute, they were able to figure out and how to isolate certain heroes. Just really well played here, but again, you know, Dominator Esports off the back of Toshi with his 93,000 damage, 36%, an absolute monster, just setting it up. I mean, Freddy was going in, taking all that damage, but Toshi was kind of taking him down as well.
Yeah, this was not really a good game for the Princess Frost for Zeon to really actually work around. There was so much reach starting from Freddy, and finally, a slow-growing mountain here for Dominator, and having the grip to finish the game against BSE with the strike that they had, they just need to keep on going.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the timer, right? Look at the game time. Blam's been saying it all this series. It's 18 minutes normally. They finish out the game that they win in 11 minutes and 24 seconds. And you can see that BSE just didn't have the time to kind of reverse this downward slope, right, in terms of the goal difference. They were able to get